Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di and today I'm sharing with you my June manga haul. So obviously it is a lot bigger than it has been, but I will say that in June I did read quite a bit for the LGBT plus manga readathon, which is hosted by my friend Bizarre Individual and Tober 2000 over on Instagram. And I always read a lot of manga during Bizarre's manga readathons. It's just so much fun. I always have a great time. And so some of what I have here are actually titles that I borrowed from my library digitally that I really enjoyed and wanted to add to my collection, and so I did that. And so yeah, some of these I have actually already read, which is very different from how my manga hauls usually go, because normally when I haul this stuff for you I haven't read any of it, but this month I have read a few. So the stack is large. I'm going to try to get through these as fast as I can. And so let's get into it. Hi everyone, Editing Di here. Before we get started, I do want to let you know that portions of this video were corrupted when I went to go edit it. So in order to save the video, because I don't have time to refilm this, I am going to put up pictures of the volumes that I am talking about. Thankfully, when I film the video separate from the audio, so the audio is still okay, but the video is not good. So in those sections where I have corrupted video, I'm going to just put up pictures of the volumes that I am hauling at the time, so you can see what the covers look like, but you won't be able to see me actually holding them up and talking about them. That's just the way it's gonna have to be for this video. I'm really sorry. So that's how we're gonna do this for now. You will see me sometime during the video because I do have some clips that aren't corrupted, but there are several sections in here where the video is just not working, and so in order to save this video, that's what's happening. I just wanted to let you know up front. So let's continue on with the rest of my haul. Off the top here, we're going to start with the volumes that I have already read, and all of these were read during the LGBT plus manga readathon. So I have Snow Fairy here by Tomo Serizawa. This one is published by Tokyo Pop, rated teen. So this is about a guy who comes across a wildlife photographer, and they end up living together for a bit of time and a relationship forms. And so really enjoyed this story. It was super cute, and it was one of the volumes that I borrowed from my library digitally. Just really enjoyed it so much I had to add it to my collection. I have Cut Over Criteria by Koala Omugi. This one is also published by Tokyo Pop, rated mature. So this one is about two co-workers. They work for a software development company. One of them is like the team lead, the other one is a new hire, and they get to know each other and end up having a relationship. I really enjoyed it. I do feel like we got a pretty full view of their relationship from the start through to when they started having a relationship, and I quite enjoy when stories do that and it's not just like, oh, we're in a relationship now type of thing. And so I quite enjoyed it. The art style is a little bit different too, so I enjoyed that as well. And so yeah, I enjoyed it enough. I had to pick that one up and add it to my collection. This one is one that was advertised in the back of every volume that I had borrowed from my library, but the library did not have a copy of this one. And so I went ahead and purchased it. This is There Are Things That I Can't Tell You, or There Are Things I Can't Tell You, by Edako Mofu. This one's published by Tokyo Pop, rated mature. So this is a childhood friends to lovers story about a guy who knew from a very young age that he liked boys and had gotten it in his head that it was something that was bad. And so he makes friends with the other guy that's on this cover, and they kind of go in and out of each other's lives as they grow up. And he has liked this guy, but he stays away and keeps his feelings covered up because he thinks that if he tells this guy that he has feelings for him, that it will like ruin his life. And so this story kind of follows them from where they are now as adults, and then it goes back to when you meet them as kids, or when they meet each other as kids, and it goes in and out of their lives at the different times that they meet up with each other, and then it comes back to them as adults where they again are in each other's lives and they're hanging out and stuff, and the feelings just cannot be covered up any longer. Really enjoyed this. I did not expect it to be as thick as it is. I figured if it was advertised in the back of every volume that I was borrowing from my library for the readathon, then it must be something that should be interesting to me. And after reading it, it was definitely interesting to me. I really am glad that I decided to go ahead and pick this one up. And then the last one that I read for the readathon was 10 Count Volume 3. I read about one of these every Pride Month since I started it. This is by Rihito Takurai, published by Sublime, rated mature. So this one follows a guy named Shirotani, and he has OCD amongst other issues that he has. And he ends up meeting a guy who is like a psychologist or psychiatrist. I can't quite remember what the guy actually does, but he deals with like mental issues. He meets him when his boss like has an accident, and the guy ends up helping Shirotani get the boss to the hospital and things like that. The guy, his name is Kurose, I believe. He tells Shirotani, hey, I can help you with your issues, like not as like a professional type thing where he would like be a patient, but just as like a social or like a friends type thing. So they end up starting to meet at a coffee shop, and Kurose puts together a 10-step program for Shirotani. And so, yeah, they eventually get into a relationship. I'm not quite sure how I feel about the series. I pretty much pick up the volume when I read it, so I picked up this volume this year and I read it. I can't wrap my head around the things that are happening with Shirotani at the moment, and Shirotani and Kurose's relationship at the moment, that I can't like quite understand how Shirotani is able to accept what's going on with the issues that he has. But, you know, this is one of those ones that I revisit one time a year. And I do really enjoy Rihito Takurai's illustrations. It's okay. Reading one volume a year is about the right pace for me with this one. So I decided to go ahead and pick that one up. Okay, so that is all of the volumes that I have actually read. So let's get into stuff that I haven't actually read yet. I have volumes 9 and 11 of Mission Yozakura Family. This one is by Hitsuji Gondaira, published by Viz, rated teen. So this one follows a guy who was orphaned, and he ends up joining his best friend's family. Unknowingly, the family is a family of spies. So he ends up having to learn how to become a spy in order to not only keep himself safe, but keep the family and the best friend safe. I really enjoyed what I've read so far of the series. I did start reading it on the Shonen Jump app and enjoyed it so much that I said that if it ever got published physically, I would purchase them. And so that is what I'm doing. I know that at these volumes, it's past where I've already read on the app, but I'm still really interested in this series, and the covers are just so gorgeous. I do have volume 10. When I had planned to purchase volume 9, it wasn't in stock, and so it was in stock now, so I'm filling that gap. So now I have 9 and 11. I have volume 1 of Delinquent, Daddy and Tender Teacher, story and art by Tama Mizuki, published by 7 Seas, rated older teen. So this is a BL story. It says a second chance at first love. It says back in high school, Hitsuji had a secret crush on one of his guy friends, a friendly bad boy named Hatoyama, but never confessed. Years later, Hitsuji is now an elementary school student who discovers the father of one of his students is none other than Hatoyama himself. When Hitsuji learns that Hatoyama is a single parent struggling to raise his son, he steps in to teach the sloppy Hatoyama how to clean and cook. Yet as the two grow closer, old feelings begin to surface. Will their newly rekindled friendship develop into something more? So it sounded cute. The art style looks fun, and so I'm really looking forward to reading that one. We have volume 7 of Bungo Stray Dogs 1. Original story by Kafka Asagiri, art by Neko Kanai, and character design by Sango Harukawa. This one's published by Yen Press, rated teen. So this is the chibi-fied version of our characters from Bongo Stray Dogs. So this is a bunch of hijinks and shenanigans, I think. I haven't actually started reading this one, but we do really enjoy Bongo Stray Dogs in our house, and so we are continuing to collect this one. We saw this one when we were at the store for the manga club meeting, and I didn't know that it was coming out, and so we decided to go ahead and pick it up. This is Danganronpa 2, Chiaki Nanami's Goodbye Despair Quest. This is volume 1, created by Spike Chunsoft and manga by Suzuragi Karin. This one is published by Dark Horse. And Dark Horse doesn't put age ratings on their manga, but I would think that this is probably older teen, just based on stuff that happens in Danganronpa. So this says, I guess you could say gaming is my life, or my life is a game. Chiaki Nanami is the ultimate gamer, selected as one of Japan's most expert teens to attend the elite Hope's Peak High School. What could be nicer than a semester to kick off a class trip to the tropical resort of Jabberwock Island? And what could be more horrific than to be told by the principal that now they're all trapped there, and the only way they can ever leave is to play a murder game? With no margin for error and the stakes so high, the ultimate gamer will need to use all her playing skill to suss out the secrets of Jabberwock Island and find the true ending for Nanami and her friends: survival and escape. So this will follow the game Danganronpa 2, which we have played, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing what this one's about. And so yes, it seems like it's going to be from Nanami's point of view, which is one of the characters that we really enjoyed, and so I had to pick that one up. Volume 1 of Let's Do It Already, story and art by Aki Kusaka. This one is published by Viz, rated older teen. So this says free-spirited Yuri Hasegawa and straight-laced Keiichiro Katsuragi have fallen in love, but his elite political family, producing a line of prime ministers, does not allow male descendants to engage in any sexual relations until they are 18. Can the physically affectionate Yuri and rule-abiding Keiichiro keep their relationship strictly chaste? And so I thought that sounded fun, and so decided to go ahead and check that one out. We have volumes 14 and 15 of Soul Eater in the Perfect Editions by Atsushi Okubo. These ones are published by Square Enix Manga, rated older teen. This follows a group of meisters, and they reap souls to make their weapons stronger. And then, of course, there's other things going on in the world. We read volume 1 for the Monochrome Manga Club, and I really enjoyed it, but at the time, this series, or this re-release, was on the horizon, and so I never started collecting the single editions past the first volume, and so we are collecting these in this edition, and I'm really looking forward to actually reading the series, because all I have seen so far is just the anime adaptation, and we really enjoyed it. And these editions are just gorgeous. I love these hardcover editions, and so I'm glad that I waited to collect them until we had these. And so I'm looking forward to getting into these eventually. I have volume 2 of I Married My Female Friend. This one is by Shio Usui, published by 7 Seas, rated teen. So we read volume 1 for the Monochrome Manga Club in June. This is a contemporary GL romance between two friends who decide that they are going to make a pact, and if 5 years go by and neither of them are engaged or in a serious relationship, they will get married. So 5 years go by, the two do get married, and now it's a story of them trying to navigate this new life together and working out different things as far as the relationship aspect and things like that. I enjoyed volume 1. I thought it felt very, very familiar to me, though. And so I'm kind of looking forward to seeing more development in the relationship in this volume, which is why I picked it up immediately after discussing the first volume with my club. And so, yeah, I do think that after happenings at the end of volume 1, we're going to get some development in the relationship. I'm really looking forward to it. So definitely have to pick up volume 2. I have volume 2 of Aquo and Bambi by Hiro. This one is published by Yen Press, rated teen. So we read, again, volume 1 for the Monochrome Manga Club. This is about a mangaka. I think it's about a mangaka who ends up moving into a really cheap like apartment, and a ghost kind of starts talking to him, and then it kind of unlocks this kind of mystery element with what's going on with Aquo, who is the ghost character, and Bambi, and some other characters that have moved into the building, and the history of the apartment that Bambi has moved into, and things like that. And so I thought it was really interesting. I'm looking forward to continuing to read this one. The art inside is not in black and white. It's in like a turquoise color. Or at least the first volume was. Let me take a look. Oh yeah, we've still got turquoise here, and like a brown, kind of reddish brown color, which makes the reading very interesting because it gives you that little bit of color, but it's not enough to be like color. And so I really enjoyed volume 1. I'm looking forward to continuing with this story in volume 2, because there are definitely things I have questions on as far as what had happened in volume 1. I have volume 1 of Stay by My Side After the Rain. So this is by Shoko Rakuta, published by 7 Seas, rated older teen. So this is a BL contemporary romance. Love ignites when high school friends reunite. Kanade feels like he's living under a constant storm cloud with his unfulfilled life. Stuck working a typical office job and keeping himself closeted, he's convinced there will be no sunny days ahead, but those monotonous days are suddenly interrupted when he reunites with Mashiro, an old classmate he's harbored hidden feelings for. Finally, Kanade has found a bit of sunshine in his gray, dreary life with Mashiro's arrival. With a chance to get to know each other again, could this be Kanade's second chance to find love with the one who got away? So I thought that sounded really cute, and so I decided to pick that one up. I have volume 3, which is the final volume of I Want to Be a Wall. This one is by Honami Shirono, published by Yan Press, rated older teen. So this is the story about a marriage between an asexual woman and a gay man. I really have enjoyed what I've read of this series so far. I was shocked when I found out that this was only a 3-volume series, so I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in this one. I definitely thought this series was going to be much longer. But yeah, I've enjoyed what I've read of this series so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing how everything will end up. I have a couple light novels here. So I have the Mimosa Confessions, book 1. This is by Mei Hachimoku and illustrations by Kuka. This one is published by 7 Seas, rated teen. So this says, a world-changing revelation. Growing up in a dreary suburb, Sakuma has little to brighten his humdrum days aside from his best friend. The bright, talented, and attractive Ushio seems to have everything Sakuma lacks, and his good looks, academics, and athletic prowess make him popular with the girls at school. Past trauma and an understandable inferiority complex slowly drive the two apart, and by the time they enter high school, they hardly even speak anymore. Thus, Sakuma finds himself alone. Against all odds, he eventually gains a friend in Natsuki, the sweetest girl in class. The two hit it off, gushing about their favorite novels, as he falls head over heels for her. But that very same night, he stumbles upon an unexpected sight while walking through a familiar park. His old friend Ushio, dressed in a full-blown schoolgirl's uniform, and sobbing uncontrollably. So that sounded interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing what this story is about. So I definitely had to pick that one up. I have True Love Fades Away When the Contract Ends, 1 star in the night sky, written by Kosuzu Kobato, illustrated by Fumi Takamura. This one's published by 7 Seas, rated teen. So it says, I have to stop this engagement no matter what it takes. Fiona isn't one to live an everyday noble life. Instead, she finds more fulfillment in working hard. But when she overhears her father planning an arranged marriage for her to her childhood friend, she's desperate to stop it. Luckily, she meets Giles, the son of an earl and the town darling who's also hoping to avoid marriage. Together, they hatch the perfect plan to thwart their parents' matchmaking, pretending to be soulmates. It's a flawless plan that can't possibly go wrong, right? So, sounded like it would be hilarious. And kind of fake dating, right? And I do enjoy a good fake dating story, so had to pick that one up. I have volume 3 of Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. This one has art by Sleepy C, adapted by Umi, and original story by Sing and Song. So this is a story about a guy who's the only reader of a web novel, and when he finally gets to the end, some things start to happen in real life, and coincidentally it kind of matches what happens in the story that he just finished reading. And so since he is the only reader, he's the only one that knows what's going to happen and how to like navigate throughout the story and things that are occurring. We read volume 1 for the Monochrome Manga Club. Really enjoyed it. I will tell you that my daughter is obsessed with this series now. And so we definitely had to pick up volume 3. I did mention to you when I was talking about the first volume, when I did my series first impressions video that month, that one of our club members was actually the one to suggest this series, and they really enjoyed this series. And so now it's really fun to see that my daughter is also enjoying the series as much as she is, and she's able to communicate with the member about things that have happened past where I have read. And so I'm really looking forward to reading these volumes and then discussing them with my daughter as well as our club member. And so yeah, she's really enjoying that series, which is making me really want to get back to reading this one as well. So definitely had to pick up volume 3. I have volume 1 of Turns Out My Online Friend Is My Real Life Boss by Nomura. This one is published by Kodansha, rated older teen. It says, a nerdy workplace BL dramedy, perfect for fans of cherry magic and wotakoi love is hard for an otaku. I will tell you that I'm not a big fan of cherry magic. There are things that are happening in that series that just aren't agreeing with me. And it's a personal thing. It's definitely personal things that I know I have issues with is affecting how I'm reading that story. And so anyway, this one is about Hashimoto, who spends all day at his job redoing work for his boss, Shirase, who's never happy. His only refuge is an online game where his buddy Uma gives him a sympathetic ear. What Hashimoto doesn't realize is his demon boss and Uma are one and the same. So I thought that sounded hilarious, and so definitely wanted to check this one out, so I picked that one up. And then the last two things are the biggest things that I had in this haul, and that's the omnibus versions of A Sign of Affection. So I picked up volume 1 and volume 2 of the omnibus, so that's volumes 1 through 6. This one is by Sue Morishita, published by Kodansha, rated older teen. So we also read volume 1 of this from the Monochrome Manga Club. This one is a story about a girl who is deaf, and she's kind of navigating the outside world for the first time. She's going to college, and she meets this guy here on the train when she's having a little bit of a communication issue with somebody trying to ask her questions, and he kind of saves her from that situation, and they start getting to know each other, and eventually a romance develops. I will tell you that when I read the first volume of this series, I wasn't too pleased. There were things about how I was reading some of the conversation going on that just did not rub me the right way. So I went and I watched the season of anime that's out, and I actually really enjoyed it. The way that the lines were delivered in the anime made all of the difference when watching the anime to how I was reacting to the story. So now that I have that like delivery of tone of voice and the way the lines were delivered, I can go back and read in that tone instead of the way that it was coming across to me, which wasn't very good. And so I really enjoyed the anime, so I'm looking forward to reading the series. And so since it was coming out in omnibus editions, I decided to go ahead and pick them up like this. I do really enjoy a good omnibus edition, and these are so colorful and cheery, and I do really love the illustrations in the front. So that's everything that I picked up in the month of June. So it is a lot more than I have been hauling, but I'm very happy with everything that I have purchased. Plus, I read a whole bunch during the manga readathon. Even though not a lot of it came off of my shelves. It was a lot, though. It was a lot. I am finding myself slowing down a little bit this month, just because the novels that I'm reading this month are a little bit heavier and they take a little bit more concentration. But I'm trying to fit in a little manga here and there. my like balance between novels and manga is usually like pretty off. Like if I really get into reading manga, I tend to neglect my novels. And so I really need to work on that like novel and manga balance. But like I said, I read a lot during June. I read a lot of manga. I was able to read a good amount of novels as well, which was nice. I think that's all I've got for today. So let me know down in the comments below if you've picked up any of what I have hauled today. And if you have and you've read them, let me know what you thought of them, but please no spoilers. Did you participate in the LGBT plus manga readathon? If so, how much did you get read? Did you get a blackout on your bingo card? I did. I don't usually, but I did this year, and it was really, really fun, and I was really excited for that. But anyway, let me know how your haul was during June. Let me know if you participated in the readathon. Let me know what your favorite like manga reads were during the month of June. I would really love to know. And if nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me some kind of like gaming emoji. Are there gaming emojis? I think there are. Any kind of gaming emoji down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated. That would really help me out, and that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.